with our two players. One of them Swedish, one of them Korean. Thank you for joining us, guys. Of course, big thanks to the sponsors ISO, Logitech, Kingston HyperX, and of course Twitch as well. Let's go into game number one, which is going to give us some interesting spawning positions down on the bottom left side. What we'll do is we'll fix up the overlay as we go. The bottom left side, we can see our Korean Terran player, who has been a very impressive player, especially as of late. He's looking to possibly get some really good damage done here at Dreamhack Open. It is Liquid Taeja. And his opponent across to the right-hand side is our green Terran player, who is a little bit more unknown, you could say, compared to Taeja. It is History. The green Terran Zerg, that's right, guys. Come on, give me a break. I'm trying to do this solo and trying to set up these overlays that should be automatic, you know, like if Blizzard actually put that in the game, but unfortunately they haven't. Anyway, so according to our resident Jacko P in the chat, History is a Swedish Terran player. Jacko, feel free to enlighten us further if you have any more information about the way History likes to play or anything like that. It does look like we'll get a very early refinery there from Taeja. It looks like he's probably going to go for, well, actually possibly something Banshee related, just because of that very early gas there. He's going to get a lot of that coming out. Iraq starting shortly after that. The positionings is actually going to allow History to scout out his opponent very quickly. We can see that the SCV is going to find Taeja, and he's probably going to see that there is going to be an early factory from the Korean Terran. So he only knows his Reaper opening in TVP. Alright, fair enough. But History is going to give us a what looks to be a I thought it was going to be a Reaper opening, but he's changed it up. He's going to get a Marine instead. We can see on the opposite side of the map, History just scouting through. He's going to see that early factory from Taeja, so he'll be able to adjust his build based on seeing that there. I would assume that Taeja's going to go along the lines of it's hard to say because there's a lot of options available for Terran players. You can do things with, you know, you can get out your, you can get out a starport, go for a Banshee or something like that. You can also go for a relatively quick armory as well, which does need a little bit of early gas as well, and head up to Hellbats or possibly Widowmines as well. But History is going to go for his own factory just across to the right-hand side, left-hand side, I should say, the proxy factory going down. Reactor getting started back at home for him, so he is going to be able to crank out a few more Marines as well. And, well, we'll see how these guys go, because this is going to be a really interesting situation. Yeah, it is going to be a Banshee build coming out of Taeja. It's a little bit of an old-school thing. We may see this come about a little bit more once this patch hits. Of course, I'm sure many of you have seen that in the test map that is on the ladder at the moment, there is the possible change to the Banshee cloak, making it cheaper, making it quicker. So it could be very interesting to see if the Cloak Banshees make a return. And History, what are you doing here with that SCV? Are you going to... Oh, okay, he is. He's building an armory back at home. So he is going to go for some Hellbats here. It looks like we will see a... oh, actually a Thor. Okay, he's going for the Thor Marine thing, it looks like. In fact, wait. I don't know, man. This is all sorts of stuff that could be coming out, but what we do know for sure is that Taeja is going for a very traditional cloak build here, and we'll see how that goes. Of course, with the Banshees coming out, he should be in a relatively good position to get some harassment done, because back at home for History, he's invested quite a lot in getting this armory operational, and that means that, well, we'll see if he has the anti-air to deal with the Cloak Banshees that are going to come across. So, to get your Cloak Banshees out, it takes 2 Cloak Banshees to get out roughly at about the same time Cloak finishes, and it is going to be a proxy Thor. I was going to say, I'll be very surprised if it's not a proxy Thor, just given the way he has built this up. The one thing I'm a bit confused about is, okay, it's going to be a Thor ship build. this is something which you rarely ever see. The old Thor ship build, it used to be very popular during extremely early Wings of Liberty, where players would jump in you basically throw the Thor inside a medevac and then try and bounce around with some micro on the medevac. Of course, one thing about this in Heart of the Swarm is that with the medevac boost, this could actually be really interesting to see how he goes with this. So medevac pops out, Thor's going to jump inside, or underneath at least, and then he's going to go for a bit of a ride. So Taeja is going to be in for a little bit of a treat here. So probably being quite surprised by this build coming out from a little bit of an unknown player here, but the Thor drops out, going to go to work on that on the command center, but back at home for History, it looks like he's got a little bit of trouble of his own. The Marines coming across to try and deal with that Banshee. The Thor is continually doing a lot of damage here. They just obliterate Marines. So this is a really interesting play from History here. It looks like he is going to... Well, he was looking to try and finish off that... the Banshee there, but unfortunately was not able to do it. He's now going inside the main base with the Thor ship, and we'll have to see some good micro here from History. It looks like the Banshee is still doing some damage inside. The second Banshee, in fact, is doing some really good damage inside the main base. 7 workers killed by Taeja so far, so he's actually done a really good job right now. And another Thor, yeah, another Thor is now making its way across. So Widowmine will deal with part of the Thor there, doing a lot of damage to that, but Taeja has done so much damage here with these two Banshees, with no detection, and it looks like History was trying to get an engineering bay up. It's not likely that he's going to be able to get enough detection here or anti-air to save his main base, and Taeja is looking to take a very, very early win here. The worker count sitting at 1 to 27, and where is the 1 SCV of History? Well, it's all the way over here helping out the Thor, and unfortunately the thing is with that SCV repairing up this Thor, he's not actually going to be able to build anymore after this, but actually History comes back. He's got... Oh, wow. Unfortunately for Taeja, his cloak ran out just as the Thor arrived, so it looks as if History is going to have a little bit of potential to come back across the map, maybe do some damage, but... Wow, that was actually really quick there from Taeja. I think he's just playing around now. Like, I mean, he's killed off basically all of his opponent's income right now. 4 SCVs available for History, and yeah, I was gonna say Taeja's probably just gonna 1A a whole bunch of stuff across the map. He is now bringing across all of his SCVs, some Marines, a couple of tanks, and even a Widowmine is in there as well. And History went to pick up the Thor, and there is a GG. So a very quick game, number 1 here. From History, going for the proxy Thor build. In fact, it was a proxy Thor ship build, as they call it or they used to call it in Korea.